Pelješac, the second largest peninsula in Croatia, known for its wines and gastronomy. Today it is visited by the hordes of tourists during the summer. But when the summer ends and tourists leave, then my time comes. I go deep into the forests of Peljesac and climb inaccessible peaks in a search of a long-forgotten past that is not so long ago. So you don't find German soldiers' glasses every day. These were left here in the summer of 1944. Unbelievable. About 8 years ago, Pelješac played a pivotal role for this area during the Second World War. The war started in April 1941. The Italians came first, then they were followed by the Germans in fall of 1943. At the beginning of 1944, German forces fortified the entire coast, including the peninsula. The reason for fortifying the coast was the German command's fear that the Allies from Italy could land in the Adriatic as one of the fastest positions for entering the very heart of the Third Reich. First time about cannons located somewhere in the backwoods of the Pelješac, I heard many years ago from the researcher of the history of the peninsula. Therefore, there was no choice but to embark on a search to locate the cannons themselves and try to identify which cannons they were and the whole story behind them. After several attempts, we managed to find 2 cannons deep in the forest. The cannons were not intact, their barrels were blown up, and good part of the cannons' remains were carried away. The cannon is stamped with the date of manufacture at the Škoda factory in Pilsen in 1926. So the caliber is 7.5 centimeters. The model is Gebirgskanone M15. And the Nazis tore Czechoslovakia apart in March 1939, a few months before the invasion of Poland and the start of the Second World War. They seized the Škoda factory complex in Pilsen, which would play a major role in supplying the German army with the weapons, especially in the early stages of the war. In Austria-Hungary, the Škoda industrial complex was the main supplier of weapons. During the First World War, Škoda will develop the 7.5 cm M15 mountain gun, which was considered the best mountain gun of the World War I. It started arriving on the Alpine battlefields in the spring of 1915 and will mark the battlefields in the Dolomites and later on Isonzo front. The cannon itself would continue to be produced in the interwar period and would be used again in the World War II, as we can see. The weight of cannon was 613 kilograms and could be disassembled into several parts and carried on 2 or 3 horses or mules. The crew consisted of 6 men. The range of the cannon was 7 to 8 kilometers depending on the charge. The weight of the projectile was 6.3 kilograms, high explosive or fragmentation shell 6.5 kilograms. After we identified the cannon, all that remained was to find out which unit used it. What I know from the literature is that the German command of the 2nd Panzer Army sent the 369th Legionary Division of the Wehrmacht to this area in June 1944, with the aim of preventing the Allied landings in this area. The 369th Division was one of 3 divisions formed in the independent state of Croatia, and their formation was related to sending them to Soviet Union. However, due to the partisan resistance that formed in the area of Yugoslavia, all of these units remained on the territory of independent state of Croatia. The 369th Division consisted of German officers and non-commissioned officers, while the men were Croatian. The unit's nickname was the Devil's Division, after the 369th Regiment that was sent to Stalingrad, where it would perish. In fact, one of the best finds I've made since I started dealing with this topic is the linden leaf, or the insignia of Croatian legionaries found near the cannons. It was precisely with air attacks on these positions in August 1944 that the operations for the liberation of Dalmatia began. In mid-September, the partisan forces attacked the garrison and destroyed it, causing the German officers to retreat and most of the men to surrender to the partisans, and some even joined the partisan units. It was then that the barrels of these cannons were blown up. These cannons today stay hidden deep in the forest where they belong, bearing witness to a long forgotten history. Until some next time, with the stories pulled from deep forests and remote hills of southern Dalmatia.